Clint Eastwood, 89 years old, almost 90 years old.
Yep.
Somebody is looking at the Grim Reaper right now saying, go tell him he's dead.
You go tell him.
Yeah, shit, you tell him. I ain't going over there.
No, he's talking to a chair right now.
Grim Reaper like, he ain't going to kill me.
He killed that chair when he was done.
He should have.
That's the only foe he couldn't defeat was that chair.
I think your client is guilty as hell.
They want to fry you.
You ready to start fighting back?
You've heard it before. Too much of a good thing. Except you know what, Martin?
Oh, no.
That's your
Goddamn.
You can't say shit the way I introduced that classic Black Tuesday logo. Everything in moderation. You can't, just a little bit of salmon belly, just a little bit of the gray, just a little bit of the purple right there, and whatever this shit is. Everything, and that's right, I had a line.
Would be green.
What kind of green?
Forest green. I don't know.
We have the right portion for you with that cup right there. You're never going to get too much if you drink from that cup. But everybody else, they're like, you know what? Old man still got it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he could kick my ass at 90 years old, and sure as hell still can direct. Ain't slowing down.
Running a whole production.
Yeah.
At that age and that kind of energy, what it takes to do all that shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's amazing.
No, it is amazing. It's a great job, man. You know, I think that the one thing that keeps him going with directing movies is that he likes directing movies about people that need the attention. You know,
his thing has been telling the story of misunderstood heroes.
He has a desire to champion heroes who were either misunderstood or overlooked by society,
or who got the shaft,
or who got f***ed by society,
or just didn't get the accolades they deserve.
Exactly.
As far as
because you look at celebrities. I mean, what have celebrities ever really done except give us hours of entertaining movies, music, great art, pleasure in life, help get us past the mundane times. But other than that, they ain't done shit, really. I mean, ask yourself, who have they saved? You know, well, Tom Cruise saved somebody from a car. You know, he's one. But these other assholes, they ain't done anything, man. Not like Sully. Captain Sully.
Yep, Captain Sully.
Captain Sully, the guy who, you know, we hear about planes crashing all the time. It's rare that a plane, if it's going down, it's going down.
Yeah.
It's going down. Okay, you know what? You better hope you got cell service and can tell your family goodbye because you gone. But no, not Captain Sully. He pulled through.
To everyone, people call you a hero.
I don't feel like a hero.
When was your last drink, Captain Stoltenberg? Have you had any troubles at home?
Oh, now that's a guy that deserves a movie right there. He became a hero. The powers that be tried to come in and use him as a scapegoat. Somebody tell this man's story right here. And yet he persevered anyway. And that's much like the guy in the movie that we're talking about right now, Richard Jewell. Mm-hmm. You know, this is a guy that deserves to have his memory kept alive, especially after, as with Captain Sully, the powers that be tried to come in and tear him down. And he was the security guard that was hailed as a hero. He found a bomb.
Yeah,
he found a backpack with a pipe bomb full of nails.
Yep.
At the
Olympics.
It was at the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia. Not only did he find it, but he had to convince the people, the real police, because he was just a security guard. Mm-hmm. He had to convince the real authorities, the real police, to take this seriously. He was the one that memorized all the procedures that needed to take place, which they were just going, man, that ain't nothing.
Yeah, there's a concert going on.
Yeah, some bunch of kids left that right there that you chased away. Ain't nothing in there but some beer or something. There, take that shit to Lost and Found and kill everybody.
Right.
You know, this is the man who, because of his good deeds, was a hero for about a day until the FBI say, you know what, that fat, no, that guy can't be no hero. That ain't no hero. Look at him. He's fat.
and we can't find nobody else.
Yeah, this guy don't look like the heroes that we perpetuate in this society.
Yeah, it's, you know, especially with John Hamm playing the lead investigator.
Yeah.
A hero should look like me.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it should be me, actually, but at least look like me.
No, this fat motherfucker, no, that ain't no hero. And if he ain't no hero, then he must be the villain. He's the one. He was the one that put that bomb right there. And of course, it was only a matter of time before that started to spread and that started to be the story. And he was all over the news just days later, short days later, that he was all over the news as going from a hero to a savage to a terrorist.
To a prime suspect.
This morning, he was a man with Olympic gold medal hero status. Tonight, he's the FBI's prime suspect in the Centennial Park bombing.
You know, this is about his vindication because he was never charged for what happened here. And they didn't really have that much evidence against him in the first place. Now, this story titled Richard Jewell, this is something that's meant to go in and make people feel good about his story. You know, this is something where it's supposed to make people feel hopeful because of his vindication. But also, it says, based on a true story, and it's from Hollywood, which translates into, you know, we really made half this shit up because we need to go out there and entertain the audience. Or is that the case? You know, I mean, it's a story about actually promoting the truth, so surely Clint Eastwood wouldn't come in and perpetuate a lie or any kind of falsehoods with this film. I mean, this is that rare movie from Hollywood that tells the straight story. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for Richard Jewell.
It's like your client is guilty as hell.
They want to fry you. You ready to start fighting back?
Clint Eastwood, just in case anybody thinks there's any kind of slants on this film that he's taken, because people have often said because of his political beliefs that maybe that comes across in his movies, you know. But one of the things that Clint Eastwood wants to make clear in this movie is that Richard Jewell was definitely innocent, and he's definitely a hero, and he's also definitely a fucking idiot. Just kidding. He spent a lot of his career being a rent-a-cop that don't really grasp the meaning of the rent-a part. You know?
The beginning of this movie is so funny in that, I mean, well, I realize I like watching movies about people who are either out of control or not self-unaware.
Yeah.
And I was laughing so much in the beginning with this. I almost called you on the phone because I was going to at least text you. I want to say, like, man, I can't wait till you see this because I wish I was watching it with you, man, because we would have been sitting next to each other cracking up at how much he reminds us of people we know, and just the stuff where it's like, man, you don't get it.
You really you don't get it, man. And again, I wish you were at the theater I was at, because it was another one where people mad at me because I'm sitting up there laughing.
Giggling?
Because I mean, look, this is a movie where people they go in knowing the story that this guy, you know, they're already feeling for this guy,
Right.
And a lot of people just don't want to come to grips with the fact that he's a fucking idiot. He got, you know, I like that. That's an important thing right here. But I was sitting up there the whole time. I was just, man, every stupid thing that he did, I was just sitting up there laughing, and I was sitting up there, this dumb motherfucker right there, and people looking at me like he's a victim. And I was like, this shit is funny.
He is. I mean, it's even like later in the film where I'm having complete sympathy for him, but he does something because Sam Rockwell plays his lawyer and tells him, don't say
that.
anything.
Yeah.
And then he opens his mouth and says something, and Sam Rockwell just looked at him like, I laughed so hard. Like,
Sam Rockwell always had.
yeah, he was just like,
Sam, he always had that look. Richard, he would tell Richard, he said, Richard, when they come in here, do not say anything to them and stop kissing their ass when they come in here. And the moment they come in, they're taking shit out that they're going through his stuff. And he's like, let me help you with that, guys. And he sits back down the couch, and Sam Rockwell's lawyer's looking at him like, motherfucker, I'm going to kill you.
If they don't do it, I'm going to do it.
He says, you know what? I just need to just let you fry. There are times you look at Richard and you say, shit, is he autistic?
right.
I mean, maybe there's something wrong with him, you know, because they address the movie. The good thing about it is that they address his dubious past.
Oh, yeah.
They don't try to, the audience might start feeling sympathy because they feel like it's not appropriate to laugh, but the movie comes in. Clint Eastwood is not ashamed to tell you from the very beginning. He does not try to hide his history. He lays it all out there that this is a guy that has done things out of his legal authority. Mm-hmm. he's on a job and he's out there stopping traffic that is not even near the property.
Yeah, he's not an actual cop, but he's like, well, if I stop him out here, they won't come on the campus.
Yeah. Or he at one time Richard Jewell, and we're talking about the real Richard Jewell with these things that have happened to him. He got in trouble for impersonating a cop one time. You know, he has that sort of, I would dare say like he doesn't have really a power complex, or maybe he does, but he doesn't take it as far as some people would.
He just has, he's a fanboy of law enforcement.
Yeah. Yeah, he really is. He just has this thing that the law is the law, and if I'm in the authority to at least in my mind,
to enforce
it, then you know what? I'm going to do that.
And I'm ultimately helping people by doing this.
And he just doesn't get it. They have a clear case for saying that, yeah, he could easily be a suspect. And get me, now I'm not saying what they did is right, but they laid out some things where they say, look, we have to look at this guy.
Oh, no. When they lay out what their suspicion is based on, is that feeling of like, man, if I didn't know better, I'd be right there going, yeah.
We all would. Let's not. There are people gonna watch the movie and they're gonna look at the character on the screen, not even the real Richard Jewell. They're gonna look on the character at the character on the screen, and you're gonna want to think. You think you're gonna be that person that was said, no, I would never have done that if I'd been there. I would have spoke up for poor Richard. No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, that motherfucker's crazy. Yeah, he did it. Yeah, we all could have been convinced of that early. And listen, he better be glad he didn't do that shit today or get caught today doing that, because they just would have fried his ass immediately without a trial. Think about what we look at today.
The cancel culture.
Yeah, he's got no girlfriend, loves guns, lives at home with his mother, and he's white. He fits the. And again, that comes from the trend of all the white nationalist terrorism that we have right here. So people ain't being too careful today, and they probably would have got his ass no matter what, because they probably would have went at him even more aggressively. But that's the problem. It's not that they treated him as a suspect, but the movie shows you why they had to do it. But they also show you what the FBI did in going too far, and how they mishandled the case, trying to railroad him to be to be not the suspect, but the actual terrorist. That is where they messed up. Paul Walter Hauser did a great job at this.
This is one of my favorite performances of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how he took this character that was so dopey in the beginning and you laughed at him, but really as it went on, gave him so much heart.
They nailed both sides with him handling those situations. You root for him at one time, especially when you see how sweet he is to his mother, played by Kathy Bates, Bobby Jewell. When you see how sweet he is to his mother, how thoughtful he is to other people.
To just about everybody.
Now, that is how they're painting him in the movie. I don't know what Richard Jewell was like in real life. I'm sure they did some research, and that's what they were told. So in the movie, if you see what you see and you buy it, then that's great. But then you see the dumb shit that he does, and you just want to slap the out of him. And somebody told me this last night. Hyde told me this, and he made a great point. He said you could look at this as the sequel to I, Tonya.
Oh, no. Well, that's the thing. When he first comes on, it's almost like he's playing that same character.
He plays the same character. I swear to God. Just do this as an experiment. When this movie comes out on video, or if you want to go watch in the theater, watch I, Tonya. Have you seen I, Tonya, Billy?
I've not seen it. I was waiting for it to come to Redbox.
Billy, do me a favor. Watch this movie, I, Tonya, and then go to the theater to watch Richard Jewell, and you're going to think that this is a continuation of
he plays a bodyguard.
He plays the same kind of guy who's a delusional wannabe badass that knows nothing about what he's doing.
I work around the world for espionage agencies.
But, Sean, you don't.
But I do.
When they talk about this, he got a big old sweater with animals on it.
wearing a sweater from Africa.
Yeah, there was little animals and shit. I thought, international.
There's so much good in I, Tonya, and deserve every award and nomination it got, and some it didn't get. But he steals every scene he's in.
He does. And you look at that sweater, it's like, well, that's when he was on his secret mission in Wakanda or some shit. So it's like, maybe he's telling the truth. I don't know.
Or in junior high.
Yeah. Incredible. Goddamn flamingos on his.
So
It's not anything that's a big detour from what he's done. Even when he was in Black Klansman, not playing too far from it, just a little more redneck.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's Sean Eckhart, the character that's in I, Tonya. But those other movies were meant to make you somewhat laugh, and they were a little shallow, or depictions of a redneck or a delusional loser in life. This one, he has sort of the same performance, but he actually adds a lot of emotion to it. You hear them talking about how they're profiling someone that fits the profile of a dangerous white man. It can come across as, a defense against this wave of criticism against white men because of all the white nationalist terrorism that's going on. And I thought that at first. I was like, is he doing this just to kind of go in and say, well, white man need a voice now? But
and Richard Jewell will be that voice. We elect Richard Jewell to speak for us.
If I could have everybody's order. With the movie, no, this is Clint Eastwood pretty much saying, F the police, or at least the FBI.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised that as the movie went along, where he was, he's a very conservative Republican. And he pretty much says, don't trust the government, don't trust authority.
Yeah.
Don't, and all this whole thing with the conservatives now saying, blue lives matter. And he's like, no, they can be assholes too. He said, do not trust these motherfuckers. And that is the whole thing in the movies. Like the people we're supposed to actually put our faith into, they take that and take advantage of it. And they use it for whatever they need to do to get the job done, even if that job is a lie.
Yeah, I mean, if you're black, you already know all this.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But it really is the big message of this movie is not so much Richard Jewell, but it's more of an education to people. It's like, man, if they pull you in, this is all the different ways. Not all the different ways. This is just a fraction of the different ways they can trap you or trick you into trapping yourself, and then just drop the net on you and go, see, see, and it's like, man, that was completely set up.
Richard Jewell is a fucking idiot, but he's not dumb. You actually respect him. I mean, and it's painful because I've been raised to respect authority, and it pains him to tell them no. But he says, this ain't right. He's like, look, I know y'all make it. Look, I'm glad with y'all calling me the Pillsbury Doughboy. Y'all can call me fat. Y'all can tease me. You can mock me, but you ain't gonna throw me in jail. I ain't no. You can call me all kind of names. Just don't call me stupid. And he's not. He probably should not even be a cop. I think because of what happened with him with the Olympics in 1996 and being held a hero, he got to be a cop. This is a guy who had a psych evaluation that scared people. He probably shouldn't be a cop.
Yeah,
but
didn't he try out for the police?
He had been earlier, and he got kicked off the force, and then he was, a security guard.
Oh, he got kicked off the force.
Yeah.
It's
like they probably thought he was crazy. This is a guy who probably would have better intentions than most cops out there, but he would overstep his boundaries.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird how this guy should not be in this position, and you have tons of people out there who soak up this kind of information, and they're seen as insane. And this is the one time where it actually came to good use in many ways.
Yeah, and
he
saved a lot of people.
He saved a lot of lives. I mean, I don't even know. I hate to say it, him being a hero in this situation is almost like just a very, very lucky fluke for him and everybody else. But you know what? It happened, and you do feel for the guy, man, and you love the message. I mean, authority is the bad guy here. The police are the bad people. Everybody's turned on this guy, man. It's almost like people let him get ahead in life where they normally wouldn't because they just felt guilty after what happened. Because he should not be a cop. The rest of the rest of the cast, as far as good guys go, are great, and we're going to talk about that. We've been talking about the guy that plays Richard Jewell and how good he is. Let's get into some of the other cast members. Now, I say good guys, and this is where, I don't know what Martin feels about this, but when I say good guys, I'm talking about the people who are on Richard's side, the people who you actually root for besides Richard, such as Watson Bryant, who his lawyer, played by Sam Rockwell, where looks nothing like him at all. Hollywood stopped caring about trying to make these actors look like the other, unless they de-age somebody.
The main character, sure. The others,
no.
They couldn't get James Carville apparently. So.
No. It wouldn't have been nothing to just put a ball cap, a shaved Sam Rockwell's hair. They're like, who gives a?
That lawyer might not have looked like that back in '96.
Yeah, no, he did.
Oh, did
yeah,
he? Okay.
yeah. I saw. No, I went back and looked at some video footage.
Okay.
He didn't have no hair on top of his head.
right.
You know, he had more hair on the side than that.
Okay.
But
Well, I'm sure they were like, Sam, you want to shave your head for this?
Nope.
He's like, I don't
no,
think
hell
so.
no. Kathy Bates, man, she got a Golden Globe nomination, right?
Did she?
I think she did. I'm not sure. I don't want to say. I thought I heard this. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say.
I wouldn't be hurt if she did. She was very good.
You look at all the other characters, and you think Richard Jewell is the emotional center of the movie. Well, he's the center of the movie, but really the emotional core of this film is Kathy Bates, man, because she's the one that, she didn't do anything, and they're just tearing her life apart.
Well, when the
man.
FBI is violating them, Richard's very passive and even helping them out.
Yeah,
But she's
yeah.
the one who reacts like a normal person who's upset that they're taking all her stuff.
One of my favorite lines in the movie is, "They're taking my undies." They went the underwear took a pantyhose. They're taking my undies. I'm laughing, but they put this woman through some shit. You need to see her performance here, where she just says, "I'm just tired. I ain't even doing anything, but y'all have torn my life apart. I'm just exhausted."
The media has portrayed my son as the person who has committed this crime. My son is innocent.
She pretty much saved his life. Like, damn, that don't make you feel bad for the guy and her. Then you're a complete asshole. Looking at the performances in here, they're great, but I like it. The performances from the good guys. It's the bad guys that I might have some problems with, but I'll get into that in a little bit, because I just want to give the movie some credit outside of the performances and the story. I got to tell you that Clint Eastwood, with the movie, as far as direction goes, still at the top of his game, man. I don't know how you felt about the bomb sequence, the part where he discovers the bomb and everything that ensues after that, but I got to tell you, that sequence was directed so well. It was stripped down pretty much to just the essence of the scene, letting the chaos before the bomb blows, and all of the people running and the people trying to push people back. You were part of the crowd, and you were part of the people trying to push the crowd back at the same time. And he just lets the chaos speaks for itself. And and just stripping it down to that, and you at one moment you feel like you're running, and at another moment you feel like you're trying to save lives. It's not all, I'm sure it's edited very well and it's put together very well, but you just feel like, man, just because I feel like I'm there, but that the bomb is there, and your stomach is clenched just waiting for that thing to go off.
Yeah.
You feel like, can I get these people to a safe place in time?
Well, what also ratchets up the tension is that because Richard is so, he's so vigilant and on edge looking for something, and there's those false alarms.
Yeah.
So when it's there, you're like, man, is anybody going to listen to him right now?
Yeah. Right. And we know what it is, but even then it's just kind of like, we know there's a bomb there, but just like, I hope they find something, because this guy doesn't need anything else going wrong in his life. Shit, I'm just gonna put a bomb there, just so they'll find something. The supporting cast, the rest of the supporting bad guy cast, is where things start to get a little bit murky for me, because we don't know how many liberties are being taken with something where the truth matters. And a lot of times we're used to seeing movies where they're just there for entertainment's sake. It's a true story or based on a true story. Let them go ahead and take liberties with some things. It's they're not hurting anybody. We've seen that done with things like Dolomite Is My Name. Being a huge fan of Dolomite, there's a lot in there they took liberties with. A lot of shit wasn't true. A lot of shit wasn't represented in the right way. They mixed stuff up. They consolidated things. But that's okay, man. You can take liberties with that because it's just a movie that's meant to be there for entertainment's sake. It's still putting the main character in a positive light. But when your movie is about handling the truth and not putting somebody through a smear campaign, that's where I start to look at this and think like, okay, what are they doing in this movie to make real life figures look like villains just because we need, as an audience, to root against something just as much as we need to root for something? And the big controversy is about one particular person here. And They might be doing it with some other people, but you might have heard this. And I read this last week. Did you read about this?
Yeah, I did.
The person that they're talking about in this movie that's causing this big controversy. And the reason why I'm bringing this up because I've never been really conflicted about a movie as I have now. There's a journalist in the movie, Kathy Scruggs. Kathy Scruggs is portrayed by Olivia Wilde. And what they do in the movie is they say that she was out there trading sex for scoops, kind of being a hoe journalist, you know. Just she was going in. Well, at least now no one knows how many people, but and there was one case that they said in the movie, or they presented in the movie where she went and traded sex for a juicy bit of information that she ran with that got this whole thing going on.
Oh, the movie said that too.
The movie said this.
Oh, okay.
The movie says this. But now you got this whole thing coming out where, and you don't know. I mean, it could go either way because the paper that she worked for, the
Atlantic Journal,
the Atlantic Journal Constitution, where she used to work. The tricky thing here is that we're talking about somebody who is died at the age of 44, and they're not able to defend themselves right now. What's happening is the Austin American Statesman, the Atlanta Journal Constitution, they have a defamation case going against the movie. Because and this is from Oxygen.com right here. This is from an article here where they say, and I read this before the movie came out. I read it before I saw I'm just going through, and this was in my news aggregator. And they say that Scruggs came forward to defend herself. She can't come forward to defend herself. I'm sorry, she died at the age of 42. I'm sorry, so even younger. Overdose of prescription pain pills. She also suffered from depression, and she had chronic back pain. Again, it's from this article from Oxygen. Her heart gave away. It was just hard living, is what the God damn it, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution says. If you go here, they talk about everything that happened with her, how it bothered her in the story, how this is all not really true, about how she gave, she solicited sex. They say, she lived hard. She had a sailor's mouth on her, but this whole thing is prefabricated and it's not true. And it's kind of bothersome to me that she's, you have a person that you're doing that to and they're not here to really defend themselves. Meanwhile, the people defending her saying that's not true. And this is a movie about not defaming people or slandering people.
When I watched it, I just thought, all right, well, she did it. I don't know how often she has done this or if it was just this thing, because it seemed like her and John Hamm had, a previous relationship, her and the FBI agent, like he had been a source at times, because they have some history.
Yeah, they had some history.
They have some history. But the thing is, when I watched the movie and watched her do that, I didn't think much of it. I wasn't like, oh, what a slut. She'll just sell anything, do anything to get a story. I just thought, all right, she's a dogged reporter, almost a kind of a bitchy Lois Lane type who's ambitious. And even with the controversy out, I was like, you know what, if she had been a male character doing that, everybody would just been like, well, man, he's willing to do whatever it takes. But I read them talking about this with her, where people were saying, man, look, yeah, she was she had some relationships around, and she was a hard partier, but that didn't mean she slept for stories. But I was like, why are y'all so hung up on that? I mean, granted, she's not here to say different, but that's often the case with these things. Richard Jewell, if he was here, he might go like, I wasn't that dopey. There's always going to be that kind of thing. But also her, trading sex to get this story, to me, as offenses go, that's nothing compared to writing a story that ruins somebody's life. That's a much bigger offense. I was like, this is the big thing. Don't miss this because you're looking at slut shaming somebody.
It's not about slut shaming. See, that's not what I'm saying. Don't get caught up on the feminist side of it or anything. It's about.
Well, I'm not talking about you, but when I read these things, you asked me what I thought.
Oh no, I'm just saying. I'm not. It's a matter of telling the truth.
No, I understand. I get that.
I mean, regardless of whether it was right or wrong what she did, is it true or not? And it's real hypocritical for a movie that is saying do not smear somebody's name to come in and do that when it's possibly not true. Now, I don't know what will come out of this. It could be that the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, maybe they're defending their name here. I don't know. It has nothing to do with her. It has nothing to do with her gender. It's just like if they put in a defamation case on this and they find out it's not true, then that's a shitty thing for a movie to do. It hurts people, man, when Hollywood takes liberties to actually tell a story. They shouldn't be able to do that. And I'm not criticizing the movie right now because I don't know if it happened or not. But if it is something that is proven to be true, they should put back on that. We always use the example of the movie.
Bohemian Rhapsody?
Well, Bohemian Rhapsody is one, but again, there's some of that going on in that too, to the point where
they paint Freddie Mercury in such a bad light in that movie.
Yeah. But the one I'm thinking of, the one where somebody had to come out and say that is not true.
Oh, Cinderella Man?
Yep.
It's no joke, pal. People die in fairy tales all the time.
He was actually a good guy, Max Baer.
Yeah.
So Max Baer is a guy who in this movie Cinderella Man, where Russell Crowe is going up against this guy coming. Russell Crowe's coming up from poverty. At one time he's a great fighter. The depression hits, and now he's just trying to protect his family and just go out and even do dock jobs. But he gets a chance to come back up in a series of fights. Of course, they got to give you a Rocky moment. So this guy Max Baer, they paint him out to be a guy that just has a bloodlust. Yeah, I kill people in the ring, and I like it.
Yeah,
and
he killed the guy in real life.
No, and he killed a guy in the ring and felt terrible about it. It was Jethro's son.
I was gonna say his daddy. His son was Jethro from the
Beverly Hillbillies. Yeah, and the guy he killed, he took care of his kids.
Yeah,
he got him through college and whatnot. And so, this is a case where it was a smear campaign against a guy just so he could have some entertainment value out of a movie. And it came back to really, haunt this guy's family.
But they made him into Cruella de Vil in that film. It was like, I remember watching it, I didn't know anything about it. I researched it subsequent to seeing the film, but I remember going, well, okay, god damn, ain't nobody this evil. 'Cause remember he would walk in, music came in, he was still rich and during Depression going, yeah, I just drank a glass of blood. It's like, the guy I killed, the last one I killed still in my freezer.
Yeah. He was the rich bad guy.
Right, not high, or we gonna do this, right? No, just like, I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. First thing he says.
You sure you want to do this, pal?
Yeah. 23 Skidoo.
Pre-fight showmanship.
Yeah, but that wasn't the case. So I'm looking
with murder.
That's why I look at this, and the reason why I brought it up is because I said and this isn't me taking a moral stance against the movie, not at all. Because what Clint Eastwood has done is that he's made a very entertaining film. He's made a movie that will get the crowd just rooting for this guy. You're not exactly gonna be cheering at the end, but you're gonna walk away feeling depressed about the system, but happy that somebody at least got a fair shake out of life.
After a while.
But you can't be taking a simple entertainment if someone in real life is having their name again slandered in a movie that is their main message. So I can't even rate the movie right now because I'm kind of torn between it, because I don't want to promote the movie too much if it's actually doing something wrong, which we don't know yet. At the same time, I can't deny it's a great film to watch, especially for the entertainment value. Maybe, it's hard for me to rate, but I'm not telling people not to watch it, enjoy it, but just realize that parts of this may be like, it may be fiction, just like a lot of these movies that we see that are biopics and based on a true story from Hollywood, which most of them are kind of fictionalized in a way just to make a movie, which is why they have the legal term in there, based on a true story.
Okay, well, I'm not hung up on the thing you're talking about with the whether it's dragging somebody through the mud or not. I think that what it does, why it doesn't show them in the best light, it's not the worst, and they did play some role. There is some truth to it, but I know better than look at a movie and think it is the absolute truth. I'll watch it to be entertained, and then later I'll look up the things on Wikipedia or somewhere else and find out all these interesting facts. Matter of fact, it usually spurs me to do that. And this was a very entertaining movie, surprisingly so.
Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah, Paul Walter Hauser. His performance is really what won me over and was a thing for me, because when it started, he did seem like his character from I, Tonya.
Yeah.
But the more he went on, the more it was like, man, he took this thing that everybody knows him for, probably what got him cast in the first place, other than the resemblance he does, natural resemblance he has to Richard Jewell in the first place. But he really knew how to just build on it and add so much more dimension to it. And even to a point where I had complete sympathy for him. Sam Rockwell, he's become that guy when he's in something, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get something good out of this.
Sure.
Because he's been great, and for once in a long time, he's not playing a Nazi or a racist. So that's cool too.
Yeah, he was on
he was on a roll.
He was on that streak.
Sure
he was on the racist streak, right?
But yeah, when it was all said and done, I was like, man, I love this so much more than I ever expected to. For me, it's a low full price.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I recommend people go see it. I'm not saying don't. Don't think, because that's what people gonna think. Man, you being too sensitive. I noticed I didn't say do not see it at all. I just, like I said, I'm just kind of waiting to see how this works out, because I don't know. Again, it's just me. And I gave the reasons why. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Shit, maybe we'll find out that Kathy Scruggs was the one that planted the bomb. Just try to get a story.